with Cody and Brandi Rhodes leaving AEW and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for February 15th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. It was previously reported that Cody Rhodes was working without a contract in AEW since December. While many thought this was either fake or some kind of publicity stunt, it appears there was truth to it. Now, AEW has released a statement noting that Cody and Brandi have been let go. Cody and Brandi Rhodes were integral to the launch of All Elite Wrestling. Cody's ability combined with his boldness and his passion for our industry and his love for community outreach helped AEW deliver on our mission to give fans what they needed for fan too long. Something new, innovative, and lasting. Brandi helped shape the AEW story, and I appreciate how hard she fought for us both in the ring and out of the ring, competing in the women's division while advancing our efforts and inclusion in civic causes, including great partnerships with Culture City and the American Heart Association. I have immense respect and appreciation for Cody and Brandi, and I wish them both the best as they move on from AEW. Thank you, Cody and Brandi. Cody would also react to this news on Twitter, writing, "I have loved my time at AEW, amazing locker room, amazing fans, amazing people. The revolution was indeed televised, and I've been incredibly lucky to be a part of that. First, I want to thank Tony Khan. He's taken the baton and run with it, and it was an honor to work for him and to know him on a personal level. He's a beautiful soul. Obviously, need to thank my incredible wife and the mother of my baby girl, Brandi, for all her love and support throughout this journey together and the amazing relationships she fostered with the Culture City and the American Heart Association. I also need to thank Nick and Matt Jackson. These two, whether they know it or not, took an undesired and not confident little cub and gifted me the confidence to become a leader of the pack. Kenneth Omega, Chris Jericho, Chicken, we started the fire. I must thank Tim W., Keith M., Greg W., and the amazing production crew who understood and captured the vision with such grace. I can't name everybody, but thank you to Mega, Margaret, Harrington, Jeff Jones, Dana, Tony Schiavone, Byrne, Raph, and the hardest worker in the game, QT Marshall, for propping me up and kicking me in the ass when I was running out fumes. I must thank all my kiddos, MJF, Jade, Sammy, Darby, Lee, Ricky, Tom, The Guns, Brock, Velvet, Nyla, Aubrey, Turner, Vanilla, Solo, Spears, Julia, Anna, Will, Wardlow, Sunny, Fuego 1, and of course, Negative 1. While we're at it, give Jade the Cody Vader. Also need to take a moment to thank the great partners at Warner Media, including Brett, Sam, and the rest of the team. I have so many milestones and beautiful memories of this renaissance, through sweat, blood, tears, little fire, and all that. I left it all on the mat. Everything pales in comparison to the final contribution I was empowered to lead at the company, the community outreach team. In the most inward moments, your outward behavior and your ability to take fame, influence, and do something of value for the communities you visit, whether the cameras are on or off, is the highest honor. I'm confident Amanda Huber will lead the department with style. I'm so proud of my creations and contributions and the items I supported or collaborated on with such wonderful professionals. Thank you, fans. Y'all did the work. Let's live forever." Of course, Brandi would also issue a statement as it reads, "A heartfelt thank you to every fan that has supported me in AEW. It was an honor to be the company's first chief brand officer. The thank you list is long, so I'll try not to wander. Thank you to Culture City, Special Olympics Illinois, and the American Heart Association for allowing me to cultivate these amazing partnerships. Thank you to every AEW heel that helped me build a dream community of female fans. Thank you to every AEW wrestler and talent that worked hard to create a great locker room environment. Thank you to the production team, makeup team, and seamstresses. Thank you Dustin, QT, Jerry Lynn, and Leva Bates for every ounce of energy, help, and encouragement you provided. Thank you, my husband, for being that constant rockin' partner every single day. Thank you to TNT, TBS, and Warner Media for treating my family like your family. Thank you to Tony Khan for giving me this opportunity and platform. I will move forward with my daughter and this quote in mind. We must take time to define our own path. Too quickly, we can find the world defining it for us. Also, I'll see you on the flippity flop." Dustin Rhodes would also react to this news as he said, "I love my brother Cody. I love my sister-in-law Brandi. Whatever they decide to do in life, I support 110%. friends. I'm sad that they're gone, but the train keeps moving. Dustin would further note, no, I am not leaving. I like it here in AEW. Of course, fans would also react to this news. Cody Rhodes, WWE Champion 2022. You had a better chance of telling me Kenny Omega would leave AEW first before Cody Rhodes. This is a shocker. Adrenaline in my soul. Say goodbye to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. With him known for his creative ways of preventing himself from being eliminated during the Royal Rumble, Kofi Kingston would end up botching his attempt to not get eliminated in this year's Rumble bout. While that was disappointing for Kingston as well as fans, it seems Kofi is hurt falling that spot, as he told the Weekend Geek Radio that it was definitely a risky move. I knew that I was going to be in pain no matter what, whether I hit it or not. Unfortunately, I got the pain and didn't get the benefit of actually doing what I wanted to do. The ribs are doing okay. My toe is actually in a lot of pain, which is really weird. I didn't expect to come down with such velocity from that height. Looking at it now, what did I expect? I don't know. It's all good. We're still here. We're still alive and kicking. It's like I tell people all the time, especially now, with that example being that I didn't get to stay in the Royal Rumble as long as I wanted to. I tell people that it's so important to go out and try as hard as you can, even if there is a risk of failing. It might be a high risk of failing, you still have to go out and try. You can't do anything epic without risk. On the Pat McAfee show, Brock Lesnar made an appearance where he was asked about Steve Austin's walkout from WWE. For context, Austin was asked to lose a match on Raw to Lesnar for June 10th of 2002, but would turn that down and leave the arena, feeling a match and loss of this magnitude should not be on a non-pay-per-view bout. Lesnar would give his thoughts on this, saying, I understand from a business aspect at the time. Steve left and didn't want to work with me. It was probably the right decision for him at the time. I don't hold a grudge against it at all. Business is business. I had a lot of good mentors coming up in the business. Talking about his recent AEW debut, New Japan star Jay White told the Strong Style podcast that Adam Cole reached out and invited him to join the promotion. The invitation came through from my good buddy Adam Cole. He just reached out to me and he asked me if I'd like to come in. Without giving away too much, if I'd like to come and maybe give the Young Bucks a hand, as he said. So yeah, it was a right time because I guess the right person asked. On Raw last night, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin took on Omos in a handicap match where they would be introduced as the Hurt Business. The two have been kicked out of the group, and MVP and Lashley moved on from using the stable name. Benjamin and Alexander even tried to recruit Omos to join the group, with Dave Meltzer discussing this on Wrestling Observer Radio. They came out and they were called the Hurt Business. I swear they were kicked out of the Hurt Business. They wanted to rejoin the Hurt Business, they were told no, and now they're the Hurt Business. All of a sudden, they came out and their tag team name is the Hurt Business, and Bobby Lashley and MVP are no longer the Hurt Business, even though Bobby Lashley does the Hurt Lock. Also on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer would touch on AEW's budget, noting the company is expecting a revenue increase and being able to sign more big names. I don't know what the whole situation is. What I can tell you is they 100% absolutely have a budget, and I also know that there were at least two people who tried to get an offer and were kind of told they were not really given a huge offer. And I think the basic gist of what I've heard is that if and when this next television deal comes in, which would be the start of 2024, which is a ways away, and they can get a big increase, then they'll spend to get guys. Again, I'm sure Jeff Hardy's not coming cheap. I'm sure he's not. Tony Khan said there's more people coming in. Keith Lee and Jay White are not just it. The budget for talent is still going to be pretty high. A guy like Josh Alexander, I think that it just depends. They have a lot of good workers. The guys that would be really important are the guys that can be game changers. I know that it's probably to go in and dismiss Josh Alexander going, he's a good worker, but he's not going to be a game changer, which is probably the case, but you never know. And somebody else can be a game changer, but again, it's like if they've got plans or they've got something, but they're so loaded with talent that it's like, okay, let's add another good worker. We've got all these good workers sitting on the sidelines because there's not enough television to get guys in matches more than every couple weeks. So there's not necessarily a need and everything like that. But from a Josh Alexander standpoint, I would think that you might mentally want to take that step up as far as visibility goes. With Sun Sport, Bianca Belair revealed advice she received from the 16-time world champion John Cena, saying his advice for me was about perspective and coming out on top. So he said, just keep your perspective where it can actually propel you. And he said, this is your opportunity to showcase who you are without a title and get the fans behind you. I use it as fuel now, because I know how it feels to go to WrestleMania and main events. I know how it feels to be champion. I also know how it feels to have it taken from me. On his podcast, Jim Cornette would take a shot at AEW for the way in which the promotion's president is booking his roster. Tony Khan playing with his action figures, booking them in his basement like he was when he was a teenager and his father was only worth $750 million instead of $3 billion or whatever. Now he can buy his own action figures, and he has done it once again. Seriously, this could have been a transformative promotion in the wrestling industry. This could have set wrestling back on the path of being a competitive looking sport and given guys who needed an opportunity a place to go and give an actual competition to Vince McMahon on the national television, etc. And now that it's not just a joke now, there are some genuine talent there now that they have CM Punk, they've got MJF, they've got Bryan Danielson, they've got several top quality talents on the roster. Going back to the news of Cody and Brandi Rhodes leaving AEW, it appears Cody could be gearing up for a return to WWE, as Andrew Zarian reported this, saying, I can confirm that Cody's camp has been in contact with WWE officials. Fightful would confirm this, adding that shortly before the announcement, WWE officials were aware of the situation and also knew that an announcement would be dropped. We've heard that the two sides have at the least had discussions, but WWE was well aware that an announcement regarding Rhodes' departure would be made at 10 a.m. EST. About 15 minutes before Cody's announcement, word had also spread to AEW talent that he was leaving the company. Cody Rhodes and Brandi haven't been quite as connected to the locker room in recent years as when AEW started, with word emerging that Cody had become distant from other EVPs. F4W Online's Andrew Zarian would go on to note in regards to the situation that, I can tell you this much, it's not just money. This is not just a financial disagreement, considering the fact that he's one of the founders. When you're involved from the start like this and you were part of the creation of a company like this, you generally don't leave just for financial reasons. You generally leave because there's other issues. Now, I don't know exactly what those issues are. People hear rumblings of creative or just business ideas and things like that, but I think this is all going to come to light in the next couple days. I assume now that it's out there that he is out of the company. WWE is obviously showing interest, and he's showing interest in WWE. Hope it doesn't get ugly, because I hate when things like this get ugly, but very possibly it could get ugly. In some unfortunate news, former WWE and WCW referee Mickie Jay Henson passed away. He would officiate his first match in 1987 and would go on to join WCW in 92, where he would officiate the match where Goldberg had his undefeated streak broken by Kevin Nash at Starrcade 98. We wish his family and friends all the best during this time. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.